Hey, what's going on, guys? Mr. DIY Tech here. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. It's been a crazy year. I've been busy remodeling my house, and I've been just crazy busy. I haven't been able to post any videos, but today I wanted to come with you and show you a video of how I got heat out in my garage because I'm out here all the time working on something. As you can see, I have drywall here, got PEX tubing. I was doing a bunch of plumbing and drywalling. And I'm always out here looking for tools or working on something. And it's wintertime here in Pennsylvania, so I wanted to share with you guys how I got heat out in my garage for incredibly cheap, just under $300. And I could just come out here and hit a switch anytime I want. And I can have heat, and I can take my sweatshirt off and be in a t-shirt in 15 minutes or less. And I want to show you guys how I did that. So the first thing I did was I got on Craigslist and I found a mobile home forced air fuel furnace for $100 in working condition. It turns out after I talked to the people whenever I picked it up that they were just going to Central Air that took care of the heating and cooling, so they didn't need this anymore. So I picked it up for $100 in perfectly working condition, and I brought it home. And the first problem I faced was, well, this sits on the floor and all the ductwork in a mobile home goes out the bottom. So what do? Well, get yourself some 2x12s and build a three-sided box for this to sit on. And then get yourself a thin piece of sheet metal and bend it in an arc and kind of make like a ramp out of it. So the back of it's flush. You bend it down and nail it in the front. And as you can see on the sides, how I did that, I just cut a bunch of slots in it. I don't know, 1.5 inches deep or so. Bent them up, and then that'll let you make the curve. And then you just fasten the outsides of the slots that you cut with screws every, 1.5 inches, 2 inches or whatever. And then that'll make you a strong platform for this to sit on. And it directs the airflow that comes out of it, because that's where it blows the heat out. It's out the bottom. So that was the first challenge I faced, which wasn't a big deal. It just took a little bit of thinking. So now that I have that sitting up on the platform, I have my airflow directed. The next problem was getting power. So what I did, I took a drag cord that I got, an extension cord. It was, 25 feet long. And I ran it from the outlet over there all the way up and around over here and into my furnace. Now, for any furnace like this is a Miller. You can download a PDF file that has the user's manual, wiring diagrams, all that stuff in there. So you don't have to have an HVAC technician come over and hook this up for you. You don't have to deal with any of that. And then you're paying a guy, $60 an hour labor to put a couple wires in place for you. So what I did was I did that. You unscrew this panel, and there's 3 wires in there, a ground, hot, and your neutral. You hook them up, you wire nut them, you put the box back on. It's not that big of a deal. It took me 30 seconds at most to do that. And I'm not an electrician. I'm just an average guy. So now we have the air taken care of, and we have power. The next thing was getting fuel into the furnace. So as you can see here, I got some copper lines. I just bought some a roll of tubing. I believe it's 3/8 tubing. You can buy a roll of it for $20 at Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever. And then you buy the fittings that match your pump, which are also another like $1, something like that, a piece. And you can look up on that PDF file again and find out which size fittings these are, what do you need, and everything else. All the information's in there for you. So I basically hand bent this line to these fittings to where you have your inlet and your outlet. And then I ran them into this barrel that I picked up for free. It's a plastic 55-gallon barrel, nothing fancy. And I ran these up and around over. This bench wasn't here. I built the bench after the fact because I had everything sitting in place first and had it the way I wanted it. And I ran the lines into my barrel. Now, the inlet line, you want to have about 1.5 inches off the bottom of your barrel, so it draws from the bottom up And your return line, you want only sticking about 2 or 3 inches into your barrel, because if you fill the barrel up and that line is in the fuel, it's not going to be able to recirculate right. It needs to just be able to flow freely out of the return line and into your barrel. And then that'll just recirculate and everything will work just fine. After that, I built this bench here on top of that because I didn't like this ugly barrel just sticking out in the middle of nowhere. And the lines and stuff, it looked hideous. So I tried covering this up a little bit, and I put stickers on there, pretty it up a little bit. But so now you have fuel, air, and power. So the next step, I went and I got a thermostat the same day I was up there. It's just a Honeywell. I think it was like $20 to $25 for that basic thermostat. On, off. You could turn the fan on or off without the pump and the heater being on. So in the summertime, if it gets real hot in here, I can just turn the fan on through my thermostat and blow all the hot air right out the doors, and then I can shut the doors whenever it cools down in here. And then I can just leave the fan running. It's like a dual-purpose unit. So anyway, to wire these up, it's really simple. You follow the directions. There's 1, 2, 3 wires I had to hook up. Really simple. And the directions are in the box to wire this up. All you have to do is mount it. I ran my wires down. You can see I zip tied to keep them all together. And then again, in that PDF file, you'll see where to wire these to, what color goes to where. I did one of them at a time just to keep it simple. And, I'd made one connection. I'd go start, cut a new wire, make the next connection. And I did that every time until everything was done. So then that again is really super easy. You don't have to be an electrician. Just take your time. I'm just a regular guy and I can do it. I know you can do it. So we have everything figured out. We got the thermostat, fuel, where the air comes out. Now the last thing to do was the exhaust. Now this was kind of a head scratcher for me because it's a 5-inch pipe and every hardware store around here carries 6-inch. That's most common. They go 6 and 8-inch. So what I did was I got this reducer that goes from 6 to 5, which is only a couple dollars. It's pretty cheap. And then I went from 6-inch out through, you have to buy a wall thimble. That's important because that pipe's hot. And then I ran right out the wall about 2 feet to get it away from my siding. And then I have another 90 and 3 sections of pipe that go up past the peak of the roof. And then I anchored it to the side of the roof. But this stuff here is super cheap. It's made for furnaces and stuff like that. I mean, you can buy wood stove pipe if you want. You can buy the black stuff. It looks better. It's made for a little bit higher heat. But that's how I solved that problem. Then I just taped everything off with metal tape. That way I didn't have any leaks, no carbon monoxide poisoning, no chance of that. And then I'll show you the outside of the chimney real quick of how easy this was to put up. Right there, that's it. You just buy a cap, 2 braces that I just made out of metal laying around, wall thimble, and a 90. That's it. Super easy. It's just hard getting it level, but, it just takes a little bit of time. So, there you have it. I mean, in 4 hours' time, I got this thing fully up and operational. It took a little bit of thinking, but this worked out perfect for me. Because it's a dual-purpose unit. I can use it to cool down the garage in the summertime, use it to heat it up in the wintertime, like today, right now. You can see on the thermostat, maybe. It's 36 degrees in here, and within 15 minutes, it'll be up in the upper 60s, and I can actually take my coat off and work out here in a t-shirt. I mean, you can see I got a lot going on. I'm restoring this car. It's my baby. It's a 71 Oldsmobile Cutlass. Like I said, I've been remodeling my house. I got tubing and drywall and all kinds of projects going on in here, and this is my sanctuary. So now that I have heat out here, I can work out here comfortably every day and I don't have to worry about anything. So I just wanted to let you guys know what I did to solve this problem. Super easy. Like I said, less than $300. The only thing that was an oversight, and it was on my part, was I did not put a fuel filter in line from the barrel to the pump. That was an oversight. I forgot all about it, never gave it a thought. That's the only thing I'm going to put in to change my setup. Because right now this setup works amazing. I mean, it doesn't use very much fuel because it only runs for a little bit. It's a small area, you know, it's not a full house. You know, I put 10 gallons in this thing and I last for, I don't know, a week and a half out here on just 10 gallons. But another cool thing I wanted to show you guys before I end this video. You see the barrels down there. There's no way to fill it up. So I measured where the hole's at. I took a hole saw. I cut out a piece of wood. I got this magnet here. There's a bolt in the middle of that piece that you cut out from the hole saw. There's a hole there, and I put a bolt in there and epoxied it. So I take my magnet, stick it on there, pull that out, and right there's where you fill up your barrel. You use a funnel. You can use one of those hand siphons. You set your jug up here. You know, pump the siphon a couple times, twist the top, and then you can just walk away and do something else while it fills itself up. It's fantastic. And then when you're done, you put your cap on, slide that back in there, and you can still use your bench. It's just another cool idea that I had along the way. And I just keep my magnet right on the side there. I'll never lose it. So like I said, if you guys have a problem, you like working out in your garage, you don't know what the cheapest solution is, I was going to put a wood stove in. But the reason I didn't put a wood stove in is because there's a lot of times when I'm out here working, I might get a phone call and I might have to leave and go somewhere or do something. And I know you can shut a wood stove down, but in the back of my mind, whenever I leave, I know there's still a fire going in my garage. And I have all my tools, all my prized possessions are out here. And I don't want to lose these because of a dumb wood stove. So in my mind, this is way cheaper. If I have to leave, I can just shut this off. And I'm gone. Like, I don't have to worry about it when I'm gone. You just shut it off. It takes like 2 minutes to shut down. It's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's kind of a carefree unit. There is a little bit of maintenance that goes with it, but anyone can change an air filter on these. You just pop the 2 clips off the back, slide a new paper filter in, put the clips back on, and you're done. Couldn't get any easier than this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit and gives you some confidence. And have a good day. Thanks for watching.